Rise and Shine with Robbo and Becky on Vision.
Well, our CEO, Phil Edwards, joins us. Robbo in the studio. Good morning, Phil.
Morning. It's great to be here.
Good to have you here, and it's good to hear about some new stations. We'll be talking about it. 3 new Vision towns that have had Vision come to air just in the last few weeks, but it's part of this 100 project that's happening over 3 years.
It's so exciting. You know, you think about big places, Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane and all of that, but, country towns is where it's at, I reckon. People in country towns are great, and they need the truth and hope of the gospel just as much as anybody else. And that's what drives us on. That's, over the years, we've gone out of our way to go places that are well out of the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Hawker in South Australia, that we've just launched a new one there. In fact, there's 3 that have come on just in the last little while.
Yeah,
so good.
One that we mentioned earlier in the week, Pingarup in WA, there's only 258 people live there, so it's a tiny community. Obviously, mainly farming area, but it's wonderful to think that the people that live there are all able to tune in and hear Vision now.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. I mean, it reminds me, a little town near where I grew up was a tiny little place called Turawina in New South Wales, where we actually have a licence, by the way, and we're pushing to put a station on there. But it's about the same, couple of hundred people. There's a shop and a pub and a service station and that sort of thing. It's one of those rural towns that's got a rich history. But there's people there going through real issues. It just breaks your heart when you actually talk to some of these people. And country people like to be a bit stoic sometimes. It's all good. But really, deep down, we all face the same issues. And I love the fact that we can get in the middle of all that with, a positive message.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's so good. So as mentioned, it's a 3-year project that we're working on, getting these 100 new stations on air. So Hawker is the most recent. That's about 56 on the list, isn't it? That's on and complete as far as a project goes.
It's thereabouts. Don't quote me on the number, but look, we're well on our way. I tend to look at the project in terms of its percentage completed overall.
Yeah.
So getting one on the air, that's the last part, and we can say that individual one 100% done. But the overall project has different stages. So there's a lot of planning. We've got to find sites and, all sorts of things that need to go on. And the very last step is actually when we go there and put the equipment in place and switch it on. And so overall, it's actually about 3/4, almost 3/4 done.
Excellent.
So there's a lot of stuff in the background that'll push through this year. And it was a pretty ambitious target. I remember when I first suggested this a few years ago that we, let's try and put on 100 new towns over the next 3 years, and the team sort of went, okay. But we are well on our way, and it's really exciting.
Exactly. And look, if we fail, only get 80, it's still an amazing achievement, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like to think that that's been done in 3 years.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
That's awesome. So look, welcome if you're in Hawker or Pingarup or Echuca. Echuca's a second service in the town, which is just better coverage, I guess, for the locals. But I was reading this week, there's hundreds of thousands of people, tourists, that go there every year, passing through or want to go get on the steamboats and all that sort of stuff. So it's wonderful to think that as people do pass through these towns, they can tune into Vision as well.
Yeah, that's it's all about creating opportunity. That's what we do. And we are passionate about getting the gospel out to every corner of Australia and making it available for whoever's going to listen to it. Now, not everybody will, and you think of the parable of the sower. Remember this? Jesus gave this great picture where you got a bag of seeds and you're throwing it out. Some of the seeds fall on good soil, some fall on the hard soil, some on the rocky soil. But it's about casting that wide, and broadcasting is actually to do with that. It's an agricultural term, casting seed. So that's what we do. And we know some of it will hit the right mark. And I think about the story of Billy Graham. He was a guy who changed the world incredibly by being faithful to God's call on his life. But it was actually, he came to Christ through the ministry of a man, when you trace it back, who you might say his ministry was a failure because he didn't reach the masses. It was a very small number of people that came to Christ. But Billy Graham was one of them. And it's pretty incredible what God did through that faithful man. So never, ever despise the day of small beginnings, doing things that you might think this is inconsequential or insignificant. No, just do what God's called you to do, because he actually sees the big picture. He can see what's coming, and, we just got to trust him, do what he says.
Excellent. So good. Yeah, so some wonderful opportunities that come along the way. Great opportunities to mispronounce town names as well, because some of these towns...
Well, that's me.
That's Becky's ministry gift, isn't it?
I know. That's my ministry gift, isn't it?
What are the most recent ones there, Becky?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask that. Penner up, and I've only just learnt how to say Echuca. So, did I say that right? See?
Well, you said Echuca, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Pinger up is the other one.
Pinger up. Okay, all right.
So, but look, I mean, it's one of those things you say it's confidently and fast, and you just assume people,
Graham will ring and tell me when I'm wrong.
Yes,
I'm waiting for us to get a license in wide kick it in along.
Is that really a... No, you're joking now. But you just don't know.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Anyway, thanks for the update, Phil. It's great to hear what's happening with new towns added to the network.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.